The Cold War was a long period of tension between the democracies of the Western world and the communist countries of Eastern Europe. The West was led by the United States and Eastern Europe was led by the Soviet Union.
These two countries became known as superpowers. Although the two superpowers never officially declared war on each other, they fought indirectly in proxy wars, the arms race and the space race.
At the end of World War II, America and the Soviet Union were the strongest countries left standing. There were major differences between them. The Soviet Union was a communist country where the government controlled the economy and was ruled by a brutal dictatorship of Joseph Stalin. The United States was a democratic country with a free economy. At first, both the countries remained friends, but soon the Soviets began imposing communism on other countries. The US was against this idea. In 1947, US President Harry Truman announced that America would help the countries of Greece and Turkey fight attempts to turn them into communist countries and allies of the Soviet Union.
This is often viewed as the beginning of the Cold War. Both the warring factions employed various strategies to weigh the scales in their favor. Most important of these strategies were the proxy wars and the arms and space race. The Cold War came to an end with the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. Proxy wars were the wars fought between other countries, but with each side getting support from a different superpower.
Examples of proxy wars include the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the Soviet-Afghanistan War. Proxy wars were common in the Cold War because the two nuclear-armed superpowers, that is the Soviet Union and the United States, did not wish to fight each other directly, since that would have resulted in assured destruction.
So, what they did was, they supported different warring countries and fought each other indirectly.
The first proxy war in the Cold War was the Greek Civil War, which started almost as soon as World War II ended. The Western allied Greek government was nearly overthrown by communist rebels with the help of Soviet Union. The Western allies eventually won, largely due to an unexpected split between the Soviet political leaders Stalin and Tito. In 1960, Congo, a Belgian colony in Africa, got its freedom, but it is said that its radical communist leader Patrice Lumumba was killed in 1961 on the behest of the US spy agency CIA. Angola became independent from Portugal in 1975 with the help of the Soviet Union. In Latin America, Fidel Castro started a revolution against the America-backed government on the behest of Soviet Union. In the Korean War, the Soviet Union and the People's Republic of China aided the communists in North Korea against the US-led United Nations forces. In the Vietnam War, the Soviet Union supplied North Vietnam and the Viet Minh with training, logistics and material to help them fight off the United States armed forces. In the war between the Mujahideen and the Soviet Army during the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, the aid given by the US to the Mujahideen during the war included weapons, supplies and training. Later on, the Mujahideen turned against the USA. That's a different story altogether. Here is the list of the most important proxy wars that were fought. Cold War proxy wars. 1945 to 1949, Chinese Civil War. 1946 to 1949, Greek Civil War. 1948 to 1949, Berlin Blockade. 1950 to 1953 Korean War, 1954 to 1975 Vietnam War, 1961 to 1962 Cuba, 1967 to 1975 Cambodia Civil War, 1973 Chile military junta, 1973 to 1989 Middle East conflict, 1977 to 1978 Ethiopia, 1978 to 1992 Soviet occupation of Afghanistan, 1976 to 1988 Angola Civil War, 1980 to 1992 Salvadoran Civil War, 1979 to 1990 Nicaragua Civil War,